Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Crazy Cool Me, aka Ursula, and today I'm going to talk about cesarean or C-section awareness. April is C-section awareness month. I know I'm late, but better late than never. This topic is so personal for me because, of course, if you followed my previous videos, I had a C-section. The C-section awareness month was founded by ICANN, or International Cesarean Awareness Network, which is a nonprofit organization with a mission to improve maternal child health by reducing preventable cesareans through education, supporting cesarean recovery, and advocating VBAC, or vaginal birth after cesarean. So this is very personal, and I just wanted to talk about it just to spread the awareness of C-section or cesarean. It's a lot of things that I did not know prior to getting a cesarean, and I just want to spread that awareness to all my mamas out there, especially my mamas of color. What is a C-section? A C-section or cesarean is a surgical procedure where the surgeon cuts through the abdomen and the uterus, putting aside the organs and the other tissues to deliver the baby. That I did not know about cesarean prior to having one are I did not know that it was elective, that you can actually elect to have a cesarean. Now, people who are, I guess, people who do not want to go through the laboring and that process and the pain process could elect to do a cesarean. I did not know that. My OBGYN, she asked me, and I was very shocked when she asked me. She asked what type of person, what type of, person was I during, what type of delivery would I want? What type of person would I be? Am I a person who doesn't want any pain? I don't want to feel anything, so I'm going to go straight for the C-section, or I'm a person that's going to try to labor it out, try to see can I push and do it that way, or am I a person that's gonna rough it out and tough it out and no type of medication or anything? I am definitely in the middle. I'm definitely Goldilocks, and that's what I told her. But a lot of things I did not know prior to having a baby and prior to having a cesarean. I do recommend that, if you are pregnant for the first time, that you do your research. Like I said, ICANN, the organization, they have a website. I will link it below. I'm not affiliated with them, but I definitely would like to be affiliated with them. But I will link their website below, and they have a lot of tools and a lot of information for you as mothers to get that information prior to birth, because you want to be informed. The reason you would have a cesarean is if it's, like I said, elective. Now people are electing to do cesarean because of the advancement in medical technology and the advancement in medicine, that people are electing to do cesarean because they feel that it's safe. But we know that it's surgery and there are risks with surgery. You're being cut open, so just be mindful of that. And the other reason for cesarean is if it's medically necessary. It just depends on your age, or if you're having multiples, if you have prior medical conditions, if there's any type of distress to the baby, any type of emergency as well. In my case, I had a cesarean because I developed preeclampsia, or high blood pressure, during pregnancy. So they had to, well, I wouldn't say they had to, but that was an option. You always have a choice. And I'll talk about that in a minute with my story. Now, statistically, 1 in 3 births results in cesarean. And That's because, like I said, it's become more prevalent that people are opting for cesarean, or the doctors are pushing for cesarean because, they, it's deemed to be safe. It has increased since 2009. The cesarean rate have increased to 32%, and that's because of what I mentioned previously. So with my situation or my story, you can look at my labor and delivery video. I will link it or put it somewhere up here if I remember. But if you look at my scenario, I got a cesarean because it was medically necessary. It was not a emergency C-section in which, if they didn't do the C-section, there would be, some very drastic consequences, like the baby's in distress and we didn't do anything, that something would happen, something unfavorable would happen. That wasn't the case. It was a medically necessary because of the condition, the preeclampsia. My blood pressure was like 200 over 100 and something. It was very high, and it did not go down. So even with all the treatments that they gave me, it did not go down. And so my OBGYN, she did everything she could medically and without being too invasive, without putting me or the baby at risk. I really appreciate her, just having our health in mind. So she did everything that she could safely. And according to her professional opinion, having done this for so many years, she suggested that I opt with the cesarean because I had the 2 failed inductions. She didn't want to do anything else to jeopardize my health or my son's health. So she suggested a cesarean. And my husband and I, we talked about it, we prayed about it. And because if it wasn't for the blood pressure, and that nothing was changing, if it wasn't for that, then I would have waited. Like I said, I was 37 weeks. And he was ready, but it was a risk of the lungs not being fully developed. But we did not want to risk my health or his with the high blood pressure, and only for that. So if someone is pushing cesarean, and there's nothing medically necessary, or not anything that's an emergency, then you definitely want to be careful of that. I can't tell you what decision to make. I can only tell you to make the best choices based off being educated, based off being informed. And I would say get all the information that you can from your doctor, your OBGYN. You can also talk to an anesthesiologist. You can visit the hospital prior to and get all the information. Like I said, you can look at the ICANN website, get all the information you can. Even if you are wanting the vaginal delivery, even if you wanted to deliver that way, I would say still educate yourself with a cesarean so that you're not in that moment trying to make a decision. And also your supportive person, the person that's going to be there with you, whether it's a friend, your mom, dad, spouse, whomever, make sure that they are educated as well so that they can be an advocate for you in that time. Because when you're in labor, if you go through the labor process, you may not be in that mindset to make a clear decision, and it's so helpful to have someone who's your advocate and knows as well what to do and what you want and request. And I would say that really helped me out as well. My husband knew what I wanted prior to. We had our birthing plan. If you look at my video, remember, have your birthing plan, but also plan for the things that may be unexpected. Plan for that, know about that, educate yourself, inform your spouse. And so also ask questions when you're going to your doctor's appointments, anything that you don't understand, any tests that are done that you don't understand why, ask questions. Why are you taking this blood? Why am I signing this paper? What is this for? What is this for? It may seem that you're being you may be seeing that you may think you're getting on their nerves. No, it is better to be informed than misinformed or not informed at all. So I would say ask questions if you don't understand. Look it up. If we have this all of this technology at our fingertips. So look it up. Be informed. If you're scared, look it up on the internet. But I would say ask questions. Every time I went to my OBGYN appointment, I had on my phone a list of questions to ask her. So that was just me, but I just wanted to know what was going on. And also when you're in the hospital as well, hey, what is this IV for? What are you putting in my arm? What is this? What's that? What's this? What's that? Ask. What's this paper I'm signing? Am I signing my life away? What's going on? So just be informed of. And recovery from a cesarean, you want to be informed about that. It took me about 5 weeks to really feel back to normal, but the normal duration is about 6 weeks where you really feel like you're getting back to normal. I would say look that up as well about what the recovery entails so that you will have realistic ideas of what to expect, because obviously cesarean and vaginal delivery are two totally different ways of delivering, so the recovery is different as well. So you want to look those up to see what to expect, and it's gonna vary from person to person, of course, but the typical span of recovery is about 6 weeks. For me, it was definitely, this is my first time being a mom and giving birth. So for me, I didn't know. For me, I had to just take it in stride because I didn't like to be down, and just kind of feeling to feel down and helpless and in pain and all these type of things. I don't like to do that. I like to get back up, but this definitely humbled me, and I definitely learned a lot having the cesarean. And I did not want the cesarean, but if I had to do it again for my baby, I would definitely do it. And speaking of that, you do not typically, the statistics say you will most likely have a cesarean after you've already had a cesarean. However, if you look it up and if you inform yourself, that you see that it's also possible to have a vaginal delivery after a cesarean. So it doesn't have to be cesarean, because we know with each cesarean there's increased risk. So we want to prevent those risks and, have a vaginal delivery. So there is hope. You can do that. You just have to educate yourself on what to do and how to do that. Like I said, this is my first child, so I will see if I have another child, if the Lord's will, and I have another child. We will see how that goes. I do definitely want to plan on having that child vaginally. I would prefer that way, but like I said, I have to be prepared either way. I'm gonna link the birthing class videos that I linked in my labor delivery. I thought that this lady did a terrific job. She was very informative and I really enjoyed the video, and I also looked up things as well, but I'm gonna link that below. And I'm going to leave you with a quote. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. And this is from Kayla Mills. It's actually a breast cancer awareness quote, but I thought it was very fitting for cesarean awareness as well. I know they have a ton of quotes as well, but that one really hit home for me because when you're laid out on that table and you can't feel anything, you feel very helpless. But you know that you have to be strong. You have to be strong because you're a mother, and you have to be strong for your baby. So I will leave you with that. I hope that this has been informative. Like I said, I will put the links below. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.